Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my humble obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Before reciting Srimad Bhagvatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Sri Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagvatam. Nishtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Srimad Bhagvatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Gurave Gaur Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granthaj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 8. Lord Nrsimhadev slays the demoniac king Hiranyakashipu. So we started this chapter yesterday. We discussed the first 5 verses, that how Hiranyakashipu was very, very angry upon Prahlad Maharaj, and when he got to know that Prahlad had not only he was spoiled, but the other kids in the Gurukula had also turned into the Vishnu Bhaktas by the power of association of Prahlad. Hiranyakashipu couldn't tolerate that and just said, I will send you to Yamaraj, that means I will kill you. So let's see what happens next. Text number 6. Kruddhasya yasya kampante trayo loka sahishvaraha tasya me abhitvan mura shasanam kim balotyagaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. My son Prahlad, you rascal, you know that when I am angry, all the planets of the 3 worlds tremble, along with their chief rulers. By whose power has a rascal like you become so impudent that you appear fearless and overstep my power to rule you? Purport. The relationship between a pure devotee and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is extremely relishable. A devotee never claims to be very powerful himself. Instead, he fully surrenders unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, being confident that in all dangerous conditions, Krishna will protect his devotee. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita 9.31, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. O son of Kunti, declare boldly that my devotee never perishes. The Lord requested Arjuna to declare this instead of declaring it himself, because sometimes Krishna changes his view and therefore people might not believe him. Thus Krishna asked Arjuna to declare that a devotee of the Lord is never vanquished. Hiranyakashipu was perplexed about his 5-year-old boy, how his 5-year-old boy could be so fearless that he did not care for the order of his very great and powerful father. A devotee cannot execute the order of anyone except the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the position of a devotee. Hiranyakashipu could understand that this boy must have been very powerful. Since the boy did not heed his orders, Hiranyakashipu asked his son, Kim Balaha, how have you overcome my order? By whose strength have you done this? So, we have read how powerful Hiranyakashipu was, that even the demigods could not defy his order, and just by movement of one eyebrow of Hiranyakashipu, Indra, Chandra, Surya, etc. would do what Hiranyakashipu asked them to do. But this boy, referring to his son Prahlad, was completely fearless. What's the reason for fearlessness of a devotee?
A fearlessness is that he's not fear for any living entity.
Yes. Why he does not fear?
Because he's a great devotee of Lord Vishnu and he always keeps thinking about it.
Very good. Because he's a great devotee, and Krishna says, Name bhakta pranashyati, my devotee will never perish. Prabhupada is mentioning that sometimes Krishna may break his vow, like he said, I will not lift the weapon, but he did lift the chakra and about to run towards Bhishma. That's a very famous episode in Canto 1. But when he says, Kaunteya pratijanihi, oh son of Kunti, Arjuna, you declare it, then Krishna can not let the words of his devotee falsify. So he will do anything to protect the words of his devotee. Therefore he is telling Arjuna, you declare it. This is a very nice verse which Mata Kunti also speaks. Mata Draupadi. Pratigya tava govinda name bhakta pranashyati. Same thing is coming. Name bhakta. Iti samsmritya sandharyami pranam sandharyami aham. That's exactly what's happening here. Iti samsmritya. Remembering this again and again, that Krishna, you have taken a vow, pratigya tava govinda, that my devotee, that your devotee, name bhakta pranashyati, this is the vow of Krishna. Remembering this again and again, what's the fear? If we remember this vow of the Lord, then all the fear will be gone. Of course, that does not mean that we act silly or act beyond our realization. You want to read, Krishna?
Yes.
After this verse, okay? Let me just finish this point. So, I was speaking that it doesn't mean that we act silly or act beyond our state of realization. It certainly means that okay, if it is a dark, lonely street and I run out at the night, odd hours and say, oh, Krishna will protect me. That may not be a very wise idea. Or if I leave my home open and say, oh, Krishna wants it, he'll protect me. If the thieves or burglars have to come, they'll come anyways. That's not the idea. The idea is that we do our best and then leave the rest on Krishna. Remembering this, that Krishna will protect his devotee. And ultimately whatever he does is for my benefit. So Prahlad was asked, what is the reason behind your strength? What is the reason behind your fearlessness? That was the question asked to Prahlad by his father, Hiranyakashipu. Any other comments anyone has before we move to the next? Okay, Krishna, we'll read the next verse. Let's see what Prahlad Maharaj spoke. Next verse, text number 7.
Want to read the Sanskrit?
Prahlad.
Shri Prahlad Uvacha.
Shri Prahlad Uvacha. Na kevalam na bhavisya rajan savan balam banya balinam kalpasam sa vai bal parave stitra jagan. nagamye brahmandam yena vasam parisnati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prahlad Maharaj says, "My dear King, the source of my strength, of what you're asking, is also the source of yours. Indeed, the original source of all kinds of strength is one. He is not only your strength or mine, but only the strength for everyone. Without him, no one can get any strength. Whatever moving or not moving, superior or inferior, and everyone, including Lord Brahma, is controlled by the strength of the Supreme Personality of God." Purport. No, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10.41, "Yadyat vibhutim sattvasyam srimatam ujaret evavam tad gacha tvam mam tejo misa sambhavam." Know that beautiful glories might be creations spring up from but a spark of my splendor. This is confirmed by Prahlad Maharaj. If one sees extraordinary strength or power anywhere, it is deserved from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To give an example, there are different grades of fire, but all of them derive heat and light from the sun. Similarly, all entities, big or small, are dependent on mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One's duty is to surrender, for one is a servant and cannot independently attain the position of master. One can attain the position of master only to be the mercy of the master. And it is independent, not independently. Unless one understands this philosophy, he's still a mother. In other words, he is not very intelligent. The mothers and the assist, who do not have this intelligence, cannot surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Understanding the subordinate position of the living entity takes millions of births, but when one is actually wise, he surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Personality of Godhead. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, "Bahuban janmate anta javam mam pradyati vadus srimiti samartam subharlam." Okay. After taking many births and deaths, one is actually...
Okay, Ramana.
After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes. And all that is such a great soul is very rare. Prahlad Maharaj was a great soul, a Mahatma, and therefore he completely surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord. He was confident that Krishna would give him protection under all his circumstances.
Very nice. You both read. Very nice. Thank you.
Proud of.
The devotees are saying they're proud of you. Thank you. So,
Hare Krishna to Ram and Krishna Prabhu.
Everyone is appreciating your reading.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Good. Continue, okay? Read every day. Good. So, when Prahlad was asked this question, where are you getting your strength from? What is the cause of your fearlessness?
He said the source of my strength is the source of yours. Wherever my strength is coming, your strength is coming from the same.
Exactly. And who is the supreme source of all strength?
Lord
Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam. Anything great in this world we see, whether it is strength, balam balavatam chaham, Bhagavad Gita 7.11. Whenever you see 7.11, you can recite this verse. So the strength of the strong, the power of the powerful, the wealth of the wealthy, the beauty of the beautiful,
the intelligence of the
intelligent. Very good. All that is coming from one source, sarva karana karanam. All the material, all the spiritual, matter, subtle, gross, anything, it's ultimately coming from Krishna. But mudas, the less intelligent people, think, no, I'm great. Like Hiranyakashipu never thought that Krishna is the source of his strength. He thought, I am powerful. I have overcome the demigods. I have done so much this. And that leads to the false ego. And those people are referred to as mudas, who do not take shelter of Krishna. But Prahlad Maharaj, he was so powerful. Not in an external way. But just imagine, even the Diggajas, the elephants which are balancing the universe, could not do anything to him. So he was very, very powerful. He was thrown off the mountain cliff, but nothing happened.
But he sat.
He was so powerful in that way. Who could resist those torturous situations?
Nobody can.
So Prahlad Maharaj was very powerful, but he always remembered Krishna, the source of all his power, the source of all his strength. And that's the difference between Muda, and that's the difference between Muda and Mahatma. Mahatma always remembers, very, very confident that Krishna will give protection. As we just, iti samsmritya, pranam sandharyamiham, that Krishna will always protect me, and he always that Krishna will always protect me, and that is his always the object of his meditation. So, any other comments or questions anyone has? Okay, would someone like to read next verse, text number 8? We didn't get chance yesterday or day before. Nandini Mataji, you want to read, please?
Yes, Rudandasanam. Sa Ishvara Kala Urukramo Sa Vojaha Saha Sattva Balendriyatma Sa Eva Vishwam Paramaha Swa Shaktibhihi Sru Japtya Vatyati Gunatrayesha. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Controller and Time Factor, is the power of the senses, the power of the mind, the power of the body, and the vital force of the senses. His influence is unlimited. He is the best of all living entities, the controller of the three modes of material nature. By his own power, he creates this cosmic manifestation, maintains it and annihilates it also. Purport. Since the material world is being moved by the three material modes, and since the Lord is their master, the Lord can create, maintain, and destroy the material world. So the children read so sweetly, so sorry to contrast it so much. Krishna is the Kalaha, Kalosmi. Even somebody is so stubborn that doesn't want to offer obeisances, ultimately offers obeisances at the time of death, because Krishna is time and one has to bow down to time. He is the power of the senses. He is the power of the mind. And the deity of the mind is, I believe, Aniruddha. He is the power of the body, vital force of the senses. So he not only senses, but how the senses work, the power behind the senses is Krishna. His influence is unlimited. We all know that. He's the biggest of the everything, and he's most powerful, and and on top he's the most strongest. Like we just were talking about it. So of course his influence is going to be the largest, but it is not just the largest, it's unlimited. We can't even quantify it. And he creates cosmic manifestation, maintains it, and also annihilates it. In Bhagavad Gita, the shloka is Aham Adisha Madhyam Cha Antascha. So, and then since the material world is being moved by three material modes, the Lord can maintain, annihilate, and destroy. So Krishna is the most powerful. He maintains the universe. That's the most extraordinary thing. Sometimes we say that it's easy to create something, it's to destroy something, but when somebody can maintain it, and he maintains for eternity, then to offer the obeisances to him, and Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, take shelter of Krishna. Bhakti Prabhu, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Just the example of Mike Tyson clicked to me in this, the famous boxing star, world boxing champion. Someone asked, when he was at the peak of his career, a lot of name, fame, recognition, vital force, senses are strong, body has power. What do you think, Mike Tyson? What do you think? He was like, Hiranyakashipu, I am the greatest. And okay, modern people like to hear that, because that's what everyone wants to be, the greatest. But everyone is a tiny puppet in the hands of the material nature. Time went by and he got Parkinson's disease. He couldn't even lift his hand properly. Then the news reporter asked him, what do you think, Mike Tyson? What do you think? He said, I am the greatest. Fool. Realizing I was so puffed up with my false ego, thinking that I am the cause of everything, I am great, I am the world champion. So many world champions have come and gone. So many prime ministers have come and gone. We just know the names of the current or last couple of years or couple of 10 years who was. So many do we know who was the prime minister of US in 1925 or 1952 or 1972? Probably not. At that point they must be there in their greatest, right? They must be thinking like that, and others must be giving them so much name, fame, recognition. But ultimately, Mahatmas realize that fact, but Mudas don't realize that fact. That any power, whether it is my intelligence, whether it is strength, body force, bhakti, wealth, beauty, recognition, any aspect of life, it is a blessing of the Supreme Lord. So always expressing that gratitude. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. And what is that attitude? That attitude is the attitude of gratitude. So, thank you. Let's move to the next one. Prabir Prabhu, would you like to read, please?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, everybody's Dandot Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Text 9. Jahi ashuram bhavam imam tam atmana shamam mana dhapsa na shanti viddhisha rite ajitad atmana utpate stitat taddi hi anantasya mahat samarahanam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj continued, "My dear father, please give up your demoniac mentality. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. Make your mind equipoise toward everyone, except for the uncontrolled and misguided mind. There is no enemy within this world. When one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshipping the Lord perfectly." Purport. Unless one is able to fix the mind at the lotus feet of the Lord, the mind is impossible to control. As Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavad dhiram vishyaham nigraham manye bayar iva sudushkaram. For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. O Krishna, and to subdue it, it seems to me, is more difficult than controlling the wind. The only bona fide process for controlling the mind is to fix the mind by service to the Lord. We create enemies and friends according to the dictation of the mind, but actually there are no enemies and friends. Pandita samadarshina samar sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim lavate param. To understand this is the preliminary condition for entering into the kingdom of devotional service. Hare Krishna. In this verse, Srila Prabhupada is so nicely explaining what is the preliminary criteria to enter into the kingdom of devotional service. And Prahlad Maharaj, we know that he also spoke this thing, the same thing, enemies or friends, non-duality. He spoke that verse also almost the same, in the chapter before that chapter. And here again he is saying to Hiranyakashipu, and when he is saying, he's saying that uncontrolled and misguided mind. There is no other enemy, actually, he is saying here. And we know that our uncontrolled and misguided mind is our main enemy. And Prabhupada quoted Arjuna's, when he was telling Krishna that how the mind is so difficult to control. Even wind can be controlled, but the mind cannot. So here I am remembering, and in Vritrasura, he was telling also that mind only can be controlled by associating with the devotees, the uncontrolled mind. In that chapter, the mind can be controlled by associating with the devotees and to worship the lotus feet of Krishna. So here we can see that. I just want to add like last 3 verses. In Bhakti Vinod Thakur's one of the bhajans, Sharanagati, there are 6 aspects of Sharanagati. One is Dainya, humility. Another is Atmanivedana, surrender. Then Goptripte Baran. Goptripte Baran is thinking that Krishna is the only maintainer. Nobody is here to help me, maintain me. Only Krishna. And then Obashya Rokshibe Krishna Vishyashi Palan. Means Krishna is going to only savior. No other possibility. Not my bank balance, not my family, not my strength, not my intelligence, nothing. And Bhakti Anukulamatra, the devotion, the things which are favorable to the devotion, and Bhakti Pratikula Bhava. So in Prahlad Maharaj, in first 2 verses, we see that Obashya Rokshiben Krishna, that he was that one aspect of the Sharanagati. He explained it. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you, please add or correct.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Any other comments or questions anyone has? Okay. So, uncontrolled, misguided mind is the worst enemy. And what is the solution? To take shelter of devotees, to take shelter of Krishna. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo. Engaging the mind at the lotus feet of Krishna. But is it easy? It's easy if we take shelter of devotees. Alone it's quite hard. Yen kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayit. By somehow or the other, invest our mind in Krishna consciousness. So by somehow or the other means through chanting, different limbs of bhakti, deity worship, sadhu sangha, cooking for Krishna, taking care of kids and sharing them about Krishna, stories, pastimes, following the Ekadashi, which is coming tomorrow. This is Ekadashi, is very, very special, called Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi. I'm sure you all are familiar. But the goal is that to take upavas. Actually, upa means close, vas means to stay in close association of Krishna and engage our mind more in Krishna, and that is the solution to control the mind. An uncontrolled mind is like worst enemy. Controlled mind is like the best friend. If we engage more and more our mind, our senses, our desires in Krishna consciousness, we'll be happy. Because how can we be happy if our worst enemy is sitting right next to us? Because we cannot let the mind out of, because the mind is always accompanying us. In this material world, the mind is always accompanying us. Even in the next body, the mind, the desires are going. So the better what we can do is to convert that worst enemy to the best friend. And the process is the process of bhakti. And be free from this I, me and mine mentality. Because in spiritual world, everyone is free from that mentality. Krishna does not have that mentality. We discussed that in the beginning of Canto 7. Is Lord partial? No, Lord is free from this I, me and mine. Wherein we can see Suhrida Sarvabhutanam, that adjective is used for the Supreme Lord and for His great souls. great devotees. Both are Suhrida Sarva Bhutanam. Sarva means sarv, all, not just their own color, not just their own language, not just their own nation or their own family and inimical towards others. No, they are free from all these designations, like how Prabhupada did. He didn't preach just to Indians, he didn't preach just to black people, he didn't just preach just to white people or just to rich people or just to educated people. He is completely free from all this, and therefore he named, just imagine there were just like a handful of people when he named the society as International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and that they too also didn't know what they were signing at. When the documents for this ISKCON were signed, they were all very new to this handful of devotees. Imagine naming an international society with like 3-4 people. But since Prabhupada had that vision and always remembering, as Prabhuji said, Avashya Lakshmi Krishna. Krishna will do. I'm just an instrument. Any other comments or questions anyone has? And that's it. Would someone like to read one last verse for today?
I can read, Prabhu.
Okay, please.
Hare Krishna. Text 10. Dasyun pura shana na vijitya lumpato manyanta eke swajita disho dasha jitatmano jnasya samusya dehinam sadho samoha prabhavam kutha pare. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In former times, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I have conquered all enemies in all the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies and is equipoised towards all living entities, for him there is no enemies. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. Purport: in this material world, everyone thinks that he has conquered his enemies, not understanding that his enemies are his uncontrolled mind and 5 senses. Mana shastrindriyani prakriti sthani karshati. In this material world, everyone has become a servant of senses. Originally, everyone is a servant of Krishna. But in ignorance, one forgot this, and thus one is engaged in the service of Maya through lusty desire, anger and greed, illusion, madness and jealousy. Everyone is actually dependent on the reactions of material laws, but still one thinks himself independent and thinks that he is the conquered all direction. In conclusion, one who thinks that he has many enemies in an ignorant man, whereas one who is in the Krishna consciousness knows that there are no enemies but those within oneself, the uncontrolled mind and senses. So the continuation of the previous text, again here, Prahlad Maharaj is explaining very nicely about, first of all, to understanding who is our real enemy. In the material life, we always think that, oh, he is my enemy, that person is my enemy. But in the reality, our mind itself, that is the driving forces. They say that how you think is everything. If you think that I'm going to take on this person, so you already predefine your mind that you're going to take on that person and you're going to think that he is my enemy. So basically, that's what you just said, Prabhu. You have to train your mind, and the only way you can control that mind, basically, bhakti and service to the Lord Krishna, engaging yourself, engaging your mind constantly on in the spirituality, so that anyway we cannot control the mind. Mind is goes here and there, but as long as you keep engaging your mind in Krishna consciousness, so that you have less time to think other thing in your life. Otherwise, by default, um, we get into this material world automatically by servicing the Maya, then lust, desire, anger, greed, illusion. These are all the by default, the characteristics people have it. I may not say it's a by default, but this gradually develops in our life, and that gets into the trouble. And Prabhupada Ji is given a very wonderful Krishna consciousness service where one can basically control your this mind and the another five senses. And when who does that, I guess he is the real devotee, you can say. Hare Krishna, back to you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So, conquering the enemy within is much greater feat than conquering the three directions. Hiranyakashipu had done that. Hiranyakashipu had conquered great kings, demigods, but the word used for him was ajitendriya, one who failed to conquer his own senses and mind. Prahlad Maharaj, on the contrary, he was just a boy, 5-year-old, but the word used for him was jitendriya. He had conquered. Jeet liya, isne indriyo par. So that's jitendriya. And why is it important? Prahlad Maharaj says, Adanta gobhir vishatam tamishram punash punash charvita charva pranam. Danta means control. Adanta means uncontrolled. Adanta gobhir. Go means senses. One whose senses are uncontrolled, they are chewing the chewed again and again. Where are they going? Tama. They're going to darkest regions of hell. Same point he said before also. Matirna Krishna parata satova. That their intelligence is not engaged in Krishna consciousness because they're too busy being a servant of their own mind and senses. Even when they win the 10 directions, they're still a loser. Why? Because one will not be happy if one has not controlled his mind and senses. Real happiness comes from conquering the enemy within. And therefore the great sannyasis are called Maharaj. They are not kings. They don't have any much money or car or bungalow or things which modern materially successful people may have. But they are called Goswami or Maharaj, the great king, because they have conquered their mind and senses. Goswami, Indriyo ke Swami. Go means senses. Not becoming Godas, becoming a Goswami. And Ekadashi, which Ekadash is 11, so it's an opportunity to engage, serving Krishna with all our mind and senses is also one of the meanings of Ekadashi, including the mind. So 6 senses are mentioned here, including the mind, Manashashtani, Indriyani. So engaging our eyes, nose, ears, hands, sense of touch, everything in Krishna's service. That's the best way to control the mind. That's the best way to be happy. And that's the best way to kill the enemy within. And that's the real meaning of the word Shatrughna, the youngest of the brothers. We have discussed this in Ramayana. He didn't kill a lot of enemies externally. He killed one demon named Lavanasur. Not a very big thing compared to what others had done. But what demon he had killed? He had killed the demon, the biggest demon of false ego, which again is an outcome of uncontrolled mind and senses. So conquering those enemies is what Bhagavatam is teaching, what Prahlad Maharaj is teaching, what Prabhupada is teaching, and that is the formula for happiness. If one is happy with in that, if one's mind and senses are controlled, one will be so happy. One will not be agitated. One will not be lusty. One will not be greedy. One will be happy with what one has. One will accept things as Krishna's arrangement. One will not find faults in others. One will not be judgmental or criticism. All these are products of uncontrolled mind and senses. Okay, any other comments or questions anyone has? Okay, so these are the few verses spoken by Prahlad Maharaj, and then Hiranyakashipu will speak, which we will see tomorrow. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. It's a special Ekadashi, so everyone can try their best based on their health, situations, circumstances. Again, the goal is to engage as much as in Krishna consciousness. So we will certainly have our Bhagavatam reading as usual at 8 p.m. So I wish you all a very, very happy Ekadashi, so we can all at least one day take this more sincerely, just repeating it for myself, and engage much more than we do on usual days. And it's the best thing. It's the best tapasya. It's the best devotional service, engaging all our 11 senses in the service of the Supreme Lord. Thank you. Good job, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Samavita Gaur Bhaktavind ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.